What's up fam, it's the Dead here, and I wanted to do a quick little tutorial on Anarky's movements in Quake Champions, specifically how to do the infamous bridge to rail jump found in Blood Covenant, the remake of the classic Campgrounds map from Quake 3. Now I have seen some other decent tutorials on the subject, but I thought I'd make this one for those who needed it broken down even further. I'll try to cover some of the other champions in later videos, but I thought I'd start with Anarky since he's probably the easiest to control. So you may or may not already know that Anarky's movements are based on the CPMA mod for Quake 3 Arena. CPMA stands for Challenge Pro Mode Arena, however many refer to it as Competitive Player Movement Arena for its enhanced and expanded movement abilities not seen in the game's vanilla mode. Anarky brings the CPMA mode's fast movement and tight air control to Quake Champions. Nearly all the champions have strafe jumping, but Anarky's is a little different from the rest. Now before I begin, I'd like to note that I have jump bound to the right click instead of the usual spacebar. This is personal preference, you can of course set jump to whatever key you want, however I do recommend trying the right click because timing your jumps, especially with rocket jumps, is a lot easier with the mouse. This may not work for all first-person shooters, but for Quake, which lacks a secondary fire, it's actually very convenient and intuitive. You should use whatever DPI and sensitivity are most comfortable for you to be able to do a quick 180 flick shot and steady enough to keep your aim smooth and not shaky and jittery when you need to hit those tight rails. A lot of the Quake pros use a DPI of 800, but some argue that you should use a DPI between 1500 and 4000 to avoid pixel skipping. Personally, I'm using a DPI of 800 and a sensitivity of 2.5. So strafe jumping with Anarky is pretty straightforward. You simply jump while pressing forward and strafing either left or right at the same time. While you're doing that on the keyboard, you're going to want to slide the mouse in the same direction that you're strafing. Then you want to jump again as soon as you land, while letting go of the forward key and continuing to hold the strafe key and moving the mouse in the same direction as the strafe. You can gain a little bit of speed in straightaways by still holding the forward key, but you'll sacrifice a bit of Anarky's agile movement. And to get an extra quick burst of speed at the beginning, you can do a little circle jump, which is where you'll do a quick but smooth 90 or 180 degree turn with the mouse, while also pressing forward and strafing in the direction that you're turning, and then jumping into the strafe jump pattern. You can run around the map and practice this by yourself or with your friends by setting up a custom game. Okay, so if you've had enough practice and you're ready to try the bridge to rail jump, here are my tips. If you try to do the jump straight on, you'll fall short every time, even with the running start, and even with a strafe jump. But with a nicely placed 180 degree circle jump, suddenly this huge gap seems like nothing. And with the right setup, this trick jump is surprisingly easy to pull off. For your starting position, you're going to want to stand against the wall, facing away from the railgun, right in front of the light on the floor. There's also a metal bar going across the blue flames on the floor, which pretty much points at where you should stand. You don't actually have to face a whole 180 degrees away from the railgun. You can see here I'm probably standing closer to 120 degrees, but anything in that range should work. Now quickly press and hold down the forward key while also holding the right strafe button, and quickly but smoothly moving the mouse to the right, and immediately when you're turned around, standing on the small ledge of the bridge, tap the jump key just barely past the railgun, somewhere between the corner of the archway and the light on the wall, and continue to hold the forward key and strafe key, and you should be able to make it across. Now you don't have to be looking down to do this, although it can be a lot easier to line up your jumps that way. In slow motion, you can see I'm hitting the forward key just a fraction of a second before everything else, and hitting the jump key just past the railgun. And once you get good enough, you can use the same technique to get back across from the railgun. And just like in previous Quakes, anything that can be done forward can also be done backwards. With enough practice, you can get to the railgun with Anarky quickly from just about anywhere on the map. And if you're still having trouble, don't give up. If you keep ending up too far to the left and missing the jump, you're probably tapping the jump button too early. And if you keep coming close but just barely missing the distance, you might be either moving the mouse too slow or flicking it too fast. Remember, you want it quick but smooth. And lastly, my biggest tip, always remember, there is no spoon. So good luck and have fun, guys. Let me know if this tutorial helped you at all in the comments below. Give a thumbs up if you liked the video, and become a member of the fam by subscribing and turning on that notification bell. Find me on Twitter at @TheVGFam, and if you'd like to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon at patreon.com/VGFam. Until next time, GG. This is VG Fam.